Hi everybody, this is an update on the earthquakes that's been happening in Virginia and the D.C. area, and also the one in Colorado that happened, the one that happened before the Virginia earthquake. I think that was the same day. I think someone told me that was the same day, so it wasn't, 2 days, one ahead of the other. But anyway, bear with me here, and I have a lot of info here, and so I'm gonna get started. Okay, it says here that this is what the problem is, and that's what I was kind of like suspicious of. I mean, why would an earthquake happen in the Virginia D.C. area when usually earthquakes don't occur? If it's very rarely or at all. I'm not saying that they never do, but there was one article I found that that there were a few small fault lines there in Virginia, but it wasn't significant like the ones that were like along the Pacific line around California and the other coast states, and the new Madrid fault line. Well, I'm going to get into this shortly about because I'm trying to understand about how earthquakes happen, and how the basically how the earth works, and all that stuff. I'm not a geologist, but it just sounded too suspicious to me. But this article says that the military was involved in this, and said they attempted a coup using HAARP to trigger the D.C. quake. And it says the rogue forces within the United States military had attempted to overthrow the government, while President Obama was kept under tight watch in Martha's Vineyard. Okay. So I was suspicious, usually like the guys in Washington are always away when an incident comes about. And the reliable sources indicate that several key military personnel, fed up with proposed cuts to the Pentagon budget, took control of the secret experimental HAARP earthquake weapon and used it to trigger massive earthquakes targeting the White House, and one last night targeting the military command centers in Colorado. So remember that one that happened in Colorado? And that's why they happened about the same time. That's what was going on. Sounds pretty close, but I'm still, keeping my eyes open anyway. Here's a video that says here that this person says that there were strange sounds in Colorado before the earthquake. So if you want to take a look at this, that there sound like there were like booming sounds. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'll leave the link to that. And I don't know if you can hear that boom, but it's like a boom sound. It says 2 hikers captured this earlier in the day. The date was August 22nd. And here's another video where that's reported that a 4-foot crack was found in the Washington's Masonic monument. I don't know if they were talking about the Washington monument. Okay, Washington's monument. And so I'll leave a link to that. I just had like a lot of other things to report. Okay, Actually, I found here some maps to better understand about where the hazards are, the high risk areas, and a little bit about the fault zones, and why the one in Virginia and Colorado was a false flag earthquake that was possibly done by HAARP. It says here that the fact that most states are at risk of major earthquakes, with 39 of the 50 states in moderate to high risk areas for seismic activity. And this map was the courtesy of the U.S. Geological Survey, and it shows the major earthquake hazard areas within the United States based on the fault lines. And okay, now the ones that are in red are the highest hazards. I think that now some of these, now this is down in the Carolinas, especially in South Carolina, which they say is a high hazard. I really probably don't agree with this map chart, because actually they have left out, there's a fault here that's start towards I think that's Vermont. From Vermont to New York and Pennsylvania. But anyway, what I'm trying to show you was the major fault lines, the actual fault lines. And there's one in Alaska, and there's one Hawaii. And because these were, the Hawaiian Islands were formed by volcanic activity and earthquake activity. That's how these islands were formed. But anyway, right here in the red, this is around the New Madrid. And now, if it was a major earthquake had happened, it would probably be along in this area here, along with the Pacific line and the San Andreas Fault and the New Madrid Fault line, and possibly around here, around the coast. So if I've seen videos that talks about the there was a Navy map that showed like when the shift happens. And oh, by the way, there was also a hurricane, Hurricane Irene, that was coming up through the coast, up towards the New England coast. And I don't know if that was caused by HAARP or not. I really don't know. But let's see what I was. Oh, back to the map. That a lot of the the east coast would be gone all the way down towards Florida. Part of Florida would be gone, and this along the New Madrid, along these states, would be gone, and along the Pacific coast, mainly California, and going inland, there would possibly gone too, if a possible a large polar shift, as they call it, would happen. But I don't know. That's a lot of speculation. You know, what is going to happen, what would happen. I don't want to cause any fear or anything, and I'm not going to put any speculations out there because I don't know. And but just keep a heads up about there's the big boys out there with the toys, and they're playing with the toys, and basically they don't know what they're doing, what kind of problems it's creating for the rest of us, and because they don't care, they have an agenda, and it's called Agenda 21, and they're wanting to try to take us out. But like I say, put your faith in the Lord, and He'll take care of the bad guys. And that's what I have to say about that. And here's a video that you can check out about the earthquake that happened in the Washington area. And I'll leave links to all these articles that I'm talking about. And this is the earthquake in the New Madrid faults lines of the earthquakes that have been happening around in this region. So you see that's dotted with the blue. The blue is what's happened this past week, and the yellow is in the past 6 months. So what's been going on in the area. And this article here, if I go into a part 2, that's fine, because there's some things I want to discuss about what's going on and what's going on behind the scenes. And well, anyway, this is from Best Syndication, and this only discusses the 3 major fault lines where earthquakes were always a big concern coming out of Alaska and in California, and they're full of fault lines that are continually shifting, and that's what the Earth does. The Earth moves. I mean, it shifts about. So. But the ones that are created by HAARP, they just basically moves. The way HAARP does, it moves along a surface, and if it's an actual earthquake, it's a lot deeper. It moves a lot deeper underneath. And they said that the experts were saying that this earthquake was a little shallow, and that it didn't hit that deep. That's the way I understand. I could be wrong on that. But I was suspicious because of the location myself, and that's why I thought that it has to be something else behind this. And there are some fault lines that are overdue to shift, especially the one in California, San Andreas Fault Line, that runs through the mountain ranges and close to Wrightwood. But did you know that there is a United States fault line map that illustrates great potentials for earthquakes outside of the state? And then it goes on to tell about the next major fault line, which is the New Madrid fault line. And this has recorded over 4,000 earthquakes that were reported since 1974. And this fault line is also called the New Madrid seismic zone, and has the potential to devastate the states of Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi. And the biggest part of the New Madrid fault line sits in Missouri. And someone divided up, it was Henning at 2010, the countdown, that's his name, and he covers all this, and he thinks that all the fracking and all the thing that happened with the BP oil spill at the time last year, and all that incident that went on, and all the fracking that is going on in that region, and there's fracking going on different locations in America, and this is like creating a lot of pressure against those plates in the earth, especially down towards the Gulf. And it could, if there was, and there's also there's also an asphalt volcano down there, down in the Biloxi Dome. Like I said, you can go listen to more what Henning has to say, his website, so I'll leave his link again. And I'm running close to the end of this, so I'm going to run into part 2. So I'll further discuss this in the next video. Okay, I'll meet y'all over part 2. Okay, take care. Bye.